Let's do a quick recap for each fight for UFC Fight Night Blanchfield versus Fiorot, aka the card of the eye pokes. I'll also review my predictions for each fight, which I make for every event on this channel. Please like and subscribe if you find this interesting, informative, or entertaining, as it'll help keep me motivated and continuing to create content for you all. Plus, you get all picks and analysis right here. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So we ended the night 7 out of 13 fights, which is a not too impressive 54% accuracy. For the previous 10 events, we're averaging a 65% accuracy. All-time, we're averaging 67% accuracy. All-time pay-per-views, we're averaging 71%. And all-time fight nights, we're averaging 66%. Alright, for the first fight, we had Angel Pacheco versus Caolan Loughran. The first round saw both fighters trading shots in the boxing range, with Loughran landing a notable right hand, but also getting his nose bloodied by Pacheco's jabs. In the second round, Loughran showcased his ground skills, taking Pacheco down and dominating him from back mount, though Pacheco managed to survive until the horn sounded. The final round saw Loughran targeting Pacheco's injured left leg, landing several low kicks. Despite Pacheco's attempts with flying knees, Loughran's takedowns and his ground control secured him the round and the match. I had calculated a 72% chance for Caolan to win, and although he didn't get the finish, he did get the job done for us. Alright, for the next fight, we had Petroski versus Jacob Malkoun. The first round started with both fighters in the orthodox stance, with Petroski switching frequently, but Malkoun landed a significant jab that rocked Petroski. Despite Petroski's attempts, Malkoun maintained control on his feet. However, Petroski landed a clean left that momentarily staggered Malkoun. Both fighters struggled for takedowns, with Petroski eventually securing one towards the end of the round. In the second round, Malkoun attempted a takedown, but Petroski appeared injured and fell to the ground, prompting Malkoun to deliver a soccer kick to his ribs, leading to the stoppage by referee Gary Copeland. The collision between Petroski's head and Malkoun's hip during the takedown attempt was speculated as a possible cause of the injury. The fight concluded with Malkoun securing a victory via TKO at 39 seconds of the second round. I had calculated a 58% chance for Malkoun to win, and although it was an injury, Malkoun did end up the winner. Alright, so for the next fight, we were actually supposed to have Viktoriia Dudakova versus Melissa Gatto. However, due to a medical condition or issue that Dudakova was facing right before the walkouts, this fight was actually canceled and the card was moved on to the next fight. I had calculated a 50.4% chance for Dudakova to win. I hope they run it back soon so we can see them face each other. But anyways, we had Aslan versus Anton Turkalj. Just to give you guys some context, Turkalj had previously won their first fight a few years ago by second round submission. The first round of this fight saw both fighters engaging in striking exchanges, with Turkalj utilizing low kicks while Aslan pressed forward with punches. Turkalj landed some significant strikes with power. In the second round, both fighters continued to trade shots, with Aslan appearing to connect harder and cleaner, despite Turkalj attempting takedowns that were successfully defended. Aslan's output slowed as the round progressed, but he managed to back Turkalj against the fence with his punches. In the third round, despite Aslan's left eye being nearly swollen shut, he landed a huge overhand right that dropped Turkalj. Aslan was about to follow with strikes, but referee Gary Copeland intervened and stopped the fight, awarding Aslan the victory via TKO at 1 minute 32 seconds of the third round. Aslan's win marked a successful revenge for his previous loss to Turkalj. I had calculated a 51% chance for Aslan to win, and he did not disappoint. In the next fight, we had Buzukja versus Connor Matthews. The first round saw Buzukja in a orthodox stance and Matthews in southpaw, with both fighters switching stances frequently. Buzukja's jab dictated the pace as he landed significant strikes, including hard calf kicks. Matthews managed to catch Buzukja with a left hand, but struggled to establish his rhythm. Buzukja controlled the round with his precise striking, and then in the second round, Buzukja continued his dominance with combination punching and calf kicks, although Matthews attempted to back him against the cage. Despite Matthews briefly taking Buzukja's back and landing some strikes, Buzukja's striking superiority remained evident. Buzukja dropped Matthews with a right cross and then a left hook, prompting referee Keith Peterson to intervene and stop the fight at just 22 seconds into the round. Buzukja's victory was declared via TKO, showcasing his striking ability and earning him the win over Matthews. I had calculated a 55% chance for Buzukja to win, and he got the job done by dropping Matthews. In the next fight, we had Julio Arce versus Herbert Burns. The first round saw Burns attempting to press Arce against the fence, but neither fighter landed significant strikes until Arce landed a jab over Burns' jab. Burns committed 2 fouls with illegal knees to the cup, resulting in a point deduction by referee Gary Copeland. Despite some takedown attempts by Burns, Arce managed to control the round with his striking. In the second round, Arce landed a hook to the body and a right hand on oncoming Burns, and Burns attempted a flying knee but was caught with a knee to the jaw from Arce, dropping him. Although Burns stayed down, Arce declined to engage on the ground. Arce continued to pressure Burns against the fence, dropping him with a series of left hands, prompting Copeland to intervene and stop the fight at 2 minutes of the second round, awarding Arce the victory via TKO. Despite missing weight, Arce showcased his striking skills and dominance over Burns, securing him the win in this fight. I had calculated a 74% chance for Arce to win, and he did pull it off. In the next fight, we had Virna Jandiroba versus Loopy Godinez. The first round saw Jandiroba securing a takedown against the fence and attempting a submission, showcasing her grappling ability. Despite Godinez's defense, Jandiroba maintained control. In the second round, Godinez landed harder punches in the exchanges, but Jandiroba managed to secure top position on the ground, engaging in a leg lock battle with sporadic strikes exchanged between the two. Godinez seemed to have the edge in striking overall. In the final round, Jandiroba continued to press forward with strikes and takedown attempts, eventually securing a dominant position on the ground and working for a rear naked choke. Despite Godinez's efforts to defend, Jandiroba's grappling sealed the round and likely the fight, leading her to a victory via unanimous decision. Jandiroba's effective grappling and control on the ground proved decisive in this win over Godinez. I had calculated a 59% chance for Godinez to win, but Jandiroba really turned it on in the middle of the fight, and Loopy just could not shake her off. In the next fight, we had Landwehr versus Jamall Emmers. The first round commenced with Emmers displaying aggressive combinations, landing clean shots that visibly hurt Landwehr. Despite early adversity, Landwehr regained his footing and retaliated with a ferocious combination that stunned Emmers. Landwehr, although bloodied, seized the momentum with relentless pressure, ultimately delivering a devastating left uppercut that sent Emmers crashing to the canvas. With Landwehr following up with his ground strikes, referee Keith Peterson intervened, declaring Landwehr the victor via knockout in the first round. Landwehr's remarkable comeback showcased his resilience and his striking skill, securing an impressive win over Emmers in a thrilling fight. I had calculated a 59% chance for Emmers to win, and although he was doing great at first, Nate the Train weathered the storm and knocked him out cold. In the next fight, we had probably the most boring fight of the night, Chidi Njokuani versus Rhys. The first round started cautiously with both fighters exchanging low kicks and feeling each other out. McKee attempted to close the distance and control Njokuani against the cage, but Njokuani effectively defended and landed strikes from the clinch. The crowd was not happy at all with the output from both of these fighters, especially McKee. He was hugging way more than utilizing effective grappling. In the second round, Njokuani displayed versatility by switching stances and landing strikes from both positions. He continued to neutralize McKee's takedown attempts and landed a knee to the head while defending. Njokuani secured a top position against the fence, further solidifying his dominance in the round. The final round saw Njokuani landing significant strikes and executing a well-timed takedown, showcasing his control and effective counter-striking. Although McKee showed resilience, Njokuani's overall performance earned him a split decision victory, with 2 judges scoring the fight 30-27 in his favor and 1 judge scoring it 29-28 for McKee. I have absolutely no idea how that was a split decision. They need to figure out what that ref was smoking, because that was not a split decision performance, honestly. But anyways, Njokuani's versatile striking and effective takedown defense secured him the win over McKee. I had calculated a 66% chance for Njokuani to win, and he did get the job done. In the next fight, we had Bill Algeo versus Kyle Nelson. Right from the start, Algeo displayed aggression, unleashing a barrage of kicks and punches while Nelson remained more composed in his approach. Despite Algeo's initial onslaught, Nelson retaliated with calculated strikes of his own, eventually landing a significant right hand that rocked Algeo. Sensing an opportunity, Nelson intensified his attack, overwhelming Algeo with a relentless assault that included knees and punches. Referee Gary Copeland intervened, stopping the fight via TKO at the 4-minute mark of the first round, despite Algeo's objections. The decision sparked debate among fans and Algeo himself, but ultimately Nelson secured the victory with a dominant performance, earning the TKO win over Algeo. So even though Bill Algeo did the chicken dance and was on his way to losing and on the path of being dropped, I do still think the fight was stopped just a bit too early, but at the end of the day, Kyle Nelson was still headed towards getting that win. This was a fun, explosive fight, especially compared to the previous fight with Chidi and McKee. I had calculated a 66% chance for Bill Algeo to win, but unfortunately he was just overwhelmed. Kyle Nelson's power is insane, You could tell there was a huge discrepancy in these two fighters' power and strength during their exchanges. In the next fight, we had Nursulton Ruziboev versus Sedriques Dumas. Both fighters adopted orthodox stances, with Dumas initiating the action with kick feints and a probing jab. However, Ruziboev quickly found his rhythm, countering Dumas effectively with a powerful right hand. Despite Dumas's forward movement, Ruziboev's precise striking began to take its toll, culminating in significant exchanges where Dumas appeared to suffer an eye injury, prompting a pause. Undeterred, Ruziboev seized the opportunity to unleash a relentless onslaught of punches, overwhelming Dumas and forcing the referee to step in for the stoppage. Upon review, it was revealed that Ruziboev's open-fingered strike may have contributed to Dumas's distress, raising potential questions for further scrutiny. Ultimately, Nursulton Ruziboev secured the victory in the first round, defeating Sedriques Dumas via KO at 3 minutes and 18 seconds into the fight. I'm curious as to what y'all's thought on this fight and finish was. Now, I had calculated a 72% chance for Ruziboev to win, and he did not waste much time getting it done. He really does need to close those fists when he strikes, though. In the next fight, we had Chris Weidman versus Bruno Silva. Weidman showcased his diverse striking arsenal early on, landing kicks and punches effectively, while Silva attempted to counter and initiate grappling exchanges. Weidman's control on the ground and striking dominance earned him the favor in the judges in the first 2 rounds. However, the momentum shifted in a bizarre turn of events in the third round as both fighters inadvertently poked each other in the eye, causing a temporary halt in action. Despite the confusion, Weidman seized an opportunity to deliver a decisive blow, flooring Silva with a counter right hand. Although Silva contested the stoppage, replays revealed that Weidman's strikes had caused significant damage. Ultimately, Chris Weidman emerged victorious over Bruno Silva via TKO at 2 minutes and 18 seconds into the third round, but as he was giving his post-fight interview, it was actually changed to a unanimous decision victory. Regardless, he got the job done. This card had way too many eye pokes on it for comfort, but honestly, other than that, Weidman looked really good in this fight. I mean, that's a complete 180 from his previous fight. Now, I had calculated a 64% chance for Silva to win just based on Weidman's previous performance and where he's at in his career and things like that. And Bruno Silva just unfortunately completely wasted round 1, and he refused to utilize his striking advantages or cut the octagon properly against a rangy Chris Weidman who knows how to use and control his range to his advantage. Also, that 4-inch smaller reach did not play into Silva's favor. He was struggling to close that distance and take advantage in any sort of way. Anyways, we're all happy for Weidman. Respect to the former champion and the veteran of the sport. It's nice to see him get a W. Alright, in the next fight we have Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley. Luque, fighting from an orthodox stance, faced Buckley, who switched stances frequently while employing a southpaw stance predominantly. The first round saw exchanges of low kicks and punches, with Buckley showcasing his striking ability and landing effective blows. Despite a momentary stumble from Luque, the round ended with both fighters showcasing their resilience. In the second round, Buckley continued to press the action, landing a series of punishing strikes that visibly affected Luque. As Buckley maintained control on the ground, raining down punches from half guard, Luque failed to mount any significant offense, prompting referee Peterson to intervene and halt the fight. Luque just wasn't doing anything at all. He was absorbing all of those strikes and he was just laying down and honestly taking the assault. And so, Joaquin Buckley secured a victory over Vicente Luque via TKO at 3 minutes and 17 seconds into the second round, solidifying his dominance in an impressive display of skill and determination. This was honestly an embarrassing performance for Luque overall. The predictions for this fight were very interesting. The model-weighted predictions gave Buckley a 59% probability of victory, so the data science prediction models called this fight correctly, despite Buckley being an underdog. However, I gave Luque a narrow 52% chance to win, giving him the benefit of the doubt. I shouldn't have done that, clearly. This is another example of how the prediction models are capable of picking underdogs and getting it right. Some people think I only pick favorites or that the models only pick favorites, and that is just simply not true. Another recent example was Dustin Poirier at UFC 299, where the models picked him to defeat Benoit Saint-Denis, and he did end up winning that fight. Buckley was also featured in my Promising Underdogs video for this card, so if you had Buckley and got confirmation through that video, great job, honestly. This was a fun fight overall. I love how Buckley was cutting the octagon to find all sorts of angles on Luque, and then he just exploded with different combinations. And then we had our main event, Erin Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. In the first round, Fiorot showcased her grappling ability by executing a takedown and briefly securing a tight guillotine choke, although Blanchfield managed to escape and reset the fight. Throughout the subsequent rounds, Fiorot effectively utilized her jab and low kicks to maintain distance and control, while Blanchfield displayed resilience and aggression in her striking attempts. Despite Blanchfield's continuous forward pressure, Fiorot's strategic approach allowed her to secure the rounds convincingly on the judges' scorecards. The fight concluded with Fiorot emerging victorious via unanimous decision, solidifying her position as a top contender in the flyweight division. Some people were complaining that Fiorot was just running around or she was just focusing on countering and she wasn't really outstriking Blanchfield, but y'all let me know what you think in the comment section. Now the predictions for this fight, they were also very interesting. Again, the models picked the underdog Fiorot to win this fight with the 52% probability, but I went the opposite direction and gave Blanchfield a 53% chance to win. But she could not close the distance, nor could she land anything significant or utilize her grappling. Here's another example of how the model picked an underdog and they did win. Now, Fiorot was another fighter featured in my Promising Underdogs video earlier this week, so if you cashed in with that and you thought that she was an underdog and she was going to win and you used her as a value bet based on that video, congratulations. And that was it. We ended the night 7 out of 13 fights, which is a not so impressive 54% accuracy, but hey, we're still averaging 66 to 70% accuracy overall, and we'll bounce back in the next one. Sometimes we all just have these off kind of nights. As I wrap up my recap of UFC Fight Night Blanchfield versus Fiorot, I really hope you found this breakdown of each fight informative and engaging. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Your support always keeps me motivated to continue bringing you guys the latest updates and analysis from the world of MMA. And so until next time, please stay tuned for more action-packed reviews and analysis. Thank you guys for watching and see you guys in the next video.